What we got here today is an Anycubic Kobra that the level sensor is not working, so it's driving the tip of the head into the bed. I'll show you. Get this thing powered up. Go ahead and preheat it so we can remove the filament. Also has a bad fan. We're going to open that up and get the right size. A little tap will tell you if the bearing is going bad. That's what's going on in that one, is the bearing is going out. Not a serviceable part. It's a $10 fan. While that's heating up, got a couple more of these the other day. So I just put it into the auto leveling function. It's going to try and home everything, but notice this light's not on the sensor, so it's just going to crash into the bed. The only thing you can do is turn it off and back it up and hunt down what the problem is. So you see how it's crashing into the bed, so we're going to turn it off. We're going to rotate this back up by hand. Start by pulling this cable off. Look at it. See if there's any visible signs of damage. Don't see any. Everything appears good there. So usually when you have a sensor not lighting up, either one, the sensor's bad, or you have a wiring issue, or something in the board gave out. We know we have some fans giving out, so we're going to open up the back. But first we're going to inspect this print head. Okay, so there's no sign of damage to the board or any of the connectors. No sign of damage to the sensor wires. This thing had given me trouble once before. The sensor bracket was very loose, so I just cut a paper shim and stuck in there, and that tightened it up real good. Let's just double check if it might be a wiring issue here before we go any further. Still not lit up, so don't think it's an issue here. Still one from getting the filament out. So we'll set the sprint head aside. Anytime you have one out to be serviced, always unplug it before you get into the electronics, and then always go through and adjust everything when you're done. Tighten it all up. These Anycubics can be a little bit of a pain sometimes. Pop open. There we go. Just went ahead and yanked the whole thing out. As you can see, it's very dirty. Has not been cleaned in some time. So we're gonna blow it out. See if that makes a difference. Fan back in to see if that resolved the fan issue. Anyway, so we're going to continue on with taking wiring in the moment. You know, 80 by 15. Flat ribbon cable is the one that has the heater head and the leveling sensor all in it. Don't see anything in here. Let's set that issue. I didn't see any issue inside. I think it was all paint issue. If I'm going out, that's what I was right. These are paint stuff. A little bit. Go let me know when I sit up. It's hard to hold it. Get up. You do the same thing. Go out. Anytime you get into the header, turn around, roll back against him, you're back away. Level and reach offset. See offset. When you turn back against the stab, reach back. This requires further investigation. All right, so what we've got here today is a Anycubic Kobra 3D printer that has a bad proximity sensor. So need this end to go on to this new one that I purchased to replace it. So you can see so I took an end off an old cable. We're going to solder them together in the right order and repair the leveling sensor on the printer. I'm going to use a bit of heat shrink to protect it all. Make sure to slide that on first. That's a white brown. That's purple. Black. All right, connections are made. Now we're going to take the heat gun and Keep thinking. If you don't have a heat gun, a torch will do, or a cigarette lighter. I always like to put a cover over all of it when you do them. Make sure they're good and protected. Now we have a new sensor ready to go. After we have a Anycubic Kobra that had a bad proximity sensor, and we've made a new one to install. Now we're going to install it. But you just pop these little clips out and roll it out. You don't even have to take the carriage off, but you want to make sure it's all the way in the carriage. And I like to turn them where the light is facing out. Don't have to, just makes it easier to see when the machine's leveling. Then in the back here, we're going to wrap this around, get it under everything so it's not in the way of the mounting. You can see how I routed it. Plug it into this connector on the board. Make sure that's bent over. All right. Now we're gonna bring this thing up here and see if this solved my problem. You want to make sure it's sitting all the way down. We're going to plug the carriage in. We may have to do some adjusting. But let's see how it did. This printer also needs a fan. Now it's working. Next, we're going to use this little tool to set the level. The thinner part goes under the nozzle, and this part goes under the proximity sensor. where we want is for the nozzle to be touching. First, kind of like if you were paper leveling. Right. And then we lower the sensor. Well,